Hey guys, welcome back. I've got two really cool model kits here that I've had, like most of mine, for quite some time. I'm sure I got these both off eBay. It's been too long to remember, but I'm probably pretty sure kinda that they came from eBay, but it doesn't matter. They're both in their wrapper, sealed wrapper, and I'm going to take care of that for one, not for both. So a little backstory. Some of you may know this from other videos, but my brother built this model kit back when we were kids. My brother's 2 years older than me. I'm 46, so he's 48. Well, let's see. Actually, what's today? He turns 49 on the 25th. Ooh, he's almost got, oh, his birthday's just around the corner. Anyway, so he's 49. Anyway, I, for some reason, somehow, some way, still have the box from the model kit that he built back in the 80s. And I'm not sure how I was able to keep it. I have no clue. But anyway, I've got the box of that kit that he built. But anyway, so that was kind of tied my memory into this kit. I've never built this kit. As a matter of fact, I've never even opened one of these kits because they're both sealed. I do have, though, someone did send me, a friend did send me the same kit, but in the old flat box, you know. So I do have one. I have seen the parts, but anyway, never in this configuration. So what we got here is we have an AMT Ertl kit, which is probably from, I'd say, there's no dates on the AMT, the early AMT Ertl kits, so probably around 85, 3, maybe 4, 83, 4, 5, somewhere around there. And then this one is the Lesney, AMT Lesney, or Matchbox. But this one did not have Matchbox on it. I have not got my glasses on, so I can't tell if you can see that or not. But anyway, you see, hope you can see 1979 Lesney Products Corporation. Where are my glasses? I'd love to have them on. Here they are. Let me put these on so I can be more focused. Anyway, so yeah, this one is the older one. So Lesney owned AMT somewhere around 1977, 78, up until like 1980. Then they sold some of your boxes. A lot of them would have said Matchbox right there. This one didn't have it. But, oh, I'm sorry. It does have Matchbox right there. Sorry. Okay, all you gotta do is turn the box around, Matthew. But anyway, cool kit. Can remember my brother building it. Has the big 427 single overhead can. But I'm going to open the Ertl kit. I'm just going to keep the older one in its seal for now. Not that I'm afraid to open it, but no sense in opening it right now. Wouldn't be any difference, I don't think. So, they do have different kit numbers. This kit number from the Ertl is 6570, and the kit from the Lesney is 2402. So, two different kit numbers, but exactly the same box art for the most part. I don't really see anything different, except, you know, when you get to your who made it, Ertl, and then Lesney. And then on this side, there's a lot more writing on the Lesney and just a barcode here. Because, no, I almost said barcodes weren't out in 79, but they were. I think barcodes came out in like 76. But anyway, without further ado, the color is a little different. That could be, though, fading or something. Without further ado, let's open up the 33 Willys. This would have been what? What was it? Ohio George. I think that's what it would have been. Which I'm not familiar with the, oh gosh, did I just say I'm not familiar with something? I'm not familiar with like Ohio George. I've heard that name, but just wasn't familiar with it with him as a racer. Although apparently he drove a 33 Willys. Alright, let's do this. So this is, you know, 40-something-year-old plastic I just took off. Alright, so this kit, I don't have an exact date, but let's just say 85. Well, it's been trapped in darkness, the parts in this box, since 1985. No light to be seen. I've already let the air escape, but I think it had holes in the plastic anyway, so the air has long escaped. But anyway, here we go. Let's see what this thing looks like from the factory. There it is. I knew it would be blue. I just knew it would. So, this is cool. This is what my brother would have, you know. Okay, so the same kit my brother had, you know, this is what he saw. So, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that makes this hobby fun, is when you have a memory attached to something. Although I didn't build it, but he did. And I wish I still had that car. I don't have any pictures of it or anything like that, but I remember him doing that. He built a couple of model kits. He did build like an 18-wheeler, and some, honestly, I don't remember. We built a few. Now this has those classic AMT tires that I was just talking about on a video recently. You gotta love these things. They look just like something you'd see at the drag strip, if the drag strip was made of red clay and it had rained. That way you could take it and mud grip down the drag strip. But yeah, this is also something that brings back sweet memories. Kind of bittersweet, right? Because they look awful. But that's just what it was when I was a kid. When you opened up an AMT kit, that's what you got. You got these Goodyear mud grips that they used in everything. These are different sizes, front smaller than the rears. But yeah, I mean, and then you had to cut the centers out. Most of the time as a kid, you slipped. My friend Chris Callan says if he didn't gouge the sidewall, he gouged his finger with the X-Acto blade. But yeah, these bring back memories. This is cool. I love this stuff. If you can't already tell, it's weird. Some of the most awful things, like that 48 Ford Testers kit, or IMC. It was a cool kit, really ahead of its time, but a very difficult and painstaking kit to build. But my dad was attached to that memory, that he built that kit, and that makes it like bittersweet. So anyway, this one tire has a split in it right there, but that's okay. Anyway, that's the tires. Okay, Matthew, quit talking about the tires. You're getting weird on us. Alright, so here's the glass. Why does it have so much? Is that rear glass? I guess that might be front. No? What the heck? Okay, there's your sunroof like glass. And then this, I'm not 100% sure. Is it a firewall? I bet that's a firewall. I don't know. I'm just guessing, because here's your glass. Okay. Here's your faded. Hey, look at the square where the... now, how did that work? It's faded. There's no sun ever been on it, but where the decals were there, it kept it from turning yellow. Let's look at the decals really fast. Oh, cool. Those are in great shape. I didn't know it came with a grill. Look at that, guys. Beautiful. I don't even see any color variation from the paper to the sticker or the decal. Nice. And they probably would fall into a million pieces when you try, but maybe not. I bet they would hold up. Got some cool Michigan. Why so many Michigan? Were they out of Michigan? No. The Ertl was out of Iowa. I don't know. I see a lot of Michigan plates on model kits. Again, what would my brother see back in the early 80s when he built this? This is what he saw. All the parts. They take a picture of it and then make it onto a paper so you can see all the parts, which is nice. Very nice. All of them's detailed and numbered. And a very simplistic but easy instructions to follow. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that big 427. That thing's awesome. What an engine Ford came up with. It was a neat one. I don't know if you know I don't know the complete story, but some of the story of the 427 SOCH. It was designed for NASCAR, and NASCAR decided they wouldn't allow it because it would just... let's see, where is that piece of glass I was looking at? There's the... I don't know what it is. No clue where that glass goes. But anyway, yes, so they banned it from NASCAR, so guys from the drag racing world started to utilize it, and it became a dominator in the drag racing world too. It was cool. Let's check out this bag of parts. They really overdid it with the bag. They had these giant bags, and they had 60 million of these ordered, and they said, well, heck, it only needs to be half the bag. Just seal it halfway. Okay, so that's what they did. All right, let's see what these parts look like. Never have I opened one of these kits from its brand new state. But here we go. All right, first off is the body of this. Ooh, can't see anything. Oh, of course. There we go. There's your body with some flash. No problem. Little flash on the drip, what you call that? Drip rail? I don't know. There's a piece of flash there. That's okay. Itty bitty little back window, which this thing is chopped. So it would have had a larger back glass if it were an actual Willys without the top chopped. You don't see many of these that aren't dragged out, you know. That's kind of a bummer. That's down into the where they put that big piece of sprue. You'd have to really work on that. But yeah, nice, cool car. Got some rock things right there, so when the rocks would fly up from the drag strip, it wouldn't tear up your car. That was probably left there from like the original model of the car, you know. So nice. And here's your chassis, and I don't know how much modification is like done to this outside of its stock version. I would assume this is pretty stock because it's got like floor pan or floor mat deals right there. So I'm thinking this is probably somewhat of a stock chassis for this car. I don't know, I'm just making an assumption. There's your flip hood. Oh man, there's some parting lines on that joker. Holy cow, look at that. Look at those parting lines, how deep they go. Gee whiz, I guess, unless it's supposed to be like that. Maybe it, I don't think it's supposed to be like that. Those are some honkers of parting lines. Look at that. That's not like a piece of flash sticking up. That's the fender. Well, come on, that's the fender actually higher on this side than that side. Man. Oh well, and then put them in a really hard place to sand, and there's that one right there too. Oh well. Hey, I get criticized sometimes. It's modeling, Matthew. Power through it. I know. Just pointing out the flaws. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Those are pretty bad. Again, maybe there's supposed to be some kind of separation like that on the real car hood. Possibly. I don't know. I don't think so though. But regardless, it would well, it doesn't fit. It kind of, it squares up pretty good when you get it on there. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. You'd have to work a while. That'd take hours right there. And then it would flip forward, open it up to the 427. Nice. And speaking of 427, let's get to it. So we've got a 427. So this started life, this single overhead cam engine started life as the 427 overhead valve forward block. And they did some modifications, added a huge timing chain to the front of the engine to run the camshafts that were then introduced into the heads. This has an automatic transmission. I wouldn't have thought that, but it looks kind of funny. I almost said it was a C6, but that just, it doesn't seem like a C6 the way it goes down in the center there. Maybe you guys can help me out in the comments. What was that? Is this some kind of made up transmission, or was that something real? And may have been a General Motors transmission that was mated up to, I don't know, but I don't see like an adapter plate space there, so I don't know how that works. There's your cylinder heads that were hemispherical. And how many of you guys know what Hemi means? Like the Dodge Hemi. And their oil pan and some other parts. Hemispherical cylinder heads. Let me give you a Matthew, you really think you're something, don't you? No, actually I don't, but I do know what a Hemi is. Hemispherical combustion chambers are hemispherical. They're not a ball. Spherical is a ball, and but hemispherical is like, let's say you cut a ball in half, and then you looked up into that ball. Well, it's round, right? And so they had the concept, from what I understand, is because of a round ball, inside out ball shaped combustion chamber. When the explosion ignited, your gas and your fuel air mixture ignited, it didn't push from one side or the other. Say with a wedge head, you've got an angled cylinder that your piston, this is really technical here, see, top of your piston, but a wedge would be like this, so your combustion would kind of go at an angle, could possibly not be as efficient, push your piston down to the side. But with hemispherical, when it ignited, it all pushed evenly, so they got more power out of it, I guess. They say they did. And so I'm sure in the comments I'll get some, no Matthew, no, maybe, I'm pretty sure I got that right. But anyway, they also allowed them to place the spark plug wherever they wanted it. I think they did actually have a 427 that had the spark, they at first had the spark plugs in the bottom, you know, because on a single overhead valve, they have the or a sock or a cammer or whatever you want to call it, the 427, the spark plugs are at the top of the valve cover. They found out that really the placement of the spark plug doesn't matter. It's not too significant. Like a 426 is dead center. But anyway, Ford decided they had them at the bottom at first, like a normal, where a normal spark plug sort of would be. But then they changed it to the top, maybe for just ease of getting to it. But anyway, okay. Thank you, Matthew, for that introduction to 427 single overhead cam. Okay. What we got here? This looks like would be if you wanted to put the sunroof closed. That's what that is. And this, I'll be honest with you, that looks like a torque converter. I think that's what that is. It's got little marks on it. It's got a, yeah, I think that's like a torque converter. I don't know. I guess if you, no, I have no idea. Maybe it's not a torque converter. Maybe I'm totally wrong. It almost looks like a landing wheel for an airplane, you know, a little small airplane, but no, I don't think, I think that looks like a torque converter. Why? Because the transmission doesn't come separate to make a display. I don't know. Is that a torque converter? Who knows? Here's your interior tub, very dragster like, no detail, just some bolts holding the door panels together, or rivets, and one door handle. So that's all you get there. So that's, I mean, that might be all the Willys had anyway, but I don't know if this would be a stock or just drag. Here is your trunk. That's not, what the heck? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, there's your trunk. It would go like this on it. And the parachute, because Ohio George had such high speeds with that Ford power, he had to have something to help him slow down. The brakes just wouldn't do it. Looks like maybe fuel tankish radiator. I don't know what that is, but it almost looks like a radiator right there. Race seats. You as the driver would remain totally safe because you would be buckled with a 5-point harness, but unfortunately the rider, yep, he was just along for the ride. He had no safety implements at all. So anyway, poor guy. No chance of survival if it went into the sand trap or something like that. And the instrument cluster, pretty neat. Got some detailed little instruments there that would just be impossible to paint, but anyway, they are detailed. If you had a magnifying glass, which I do, Ruthie bought me a magnifying glass for my birthday because I can't see nothing, and I don't think this is going to help us at all. It helps me though. I don't know. Hey, check it out. We might can get a little magnification on it here. Okay, it's even got a light. Check that out. All right. When your kids start to see your eyes failing, they just jump in and help. Exhaust manifolds, not headers. Looks like manifolds to me. Maybe they were the headers, just a primitive style header. Maybe a cast iron header looks like. Then you have your lake pipes that come off the side, as seen here in the box art. And scoop, hood scoop right there. Oops. Hood scoop and license plates. And then we have some chrome. So let's dig into the chrome really quick. Push all this to the side. Two chrome trees. Oh, I see. Okay, so we've got, well, I don't know how that will work. We got some headers, sure enough, zoomies. And then we have those manifolds. Those manifolds may have been somewhat of a stock, more stock version of the 427. I'm not sure. But there is your single overhead cam. Super shiny, like very unrealistically shiny because they would have been aluminum anyway. But anyway, there's your valve covers, your blower belt. There is the timing chain. That was just added. So they added that to the front of the 427, which made it very deep. But it had to have that extension on the front of the engine in order to run that gigantic timing chain that it had. And there's your intake, blower intake. There is that the blower? Maybe that's the blower halves. Transmission pan, front and rear of the blower drive. Nice looking set of wheels, slotted. You guys from back in the 60s and all probably just love those slotted wheels. They are cool. I have to say, those slotted wheels, slotted mags or whatever you call them, they are cool. Those are nice. There's your completely chrome rear differential. Now some of you experts, what kind of rear end? This is not like a Ford. The Ford 9-inch, best of my knowledge, came out in 1957 in a Ranchero, I think it was. As a matter of fact, I've got a 9-inch Ford from 1957 that came from a Ranchero. If any of you guys are interested, they say that is a sought after rear end because it's already more narrow than a stock. But I do have a 1957 Ford 9-inch, and you can identify that Ford 9-inch from a 57 from where the oil, is it the drain plug? Doesn't have it? I don't know. There was something I investigated. I have one. We had that Ranchero. But anyway, I don't know what kind of rear end this is. Is it supposed to be a 9-inch? It doesn't look like a 9-inch Ford. It's so chromy, you can't tell much about it, but I don't think it is. What kind of rear end did Ohio George use? There's your windshield chrome, some leaf springs, shifters, all kind of little chrome parts. Steering wheel upside down, roll bar, and hot foot gas pedal. Nice. And last little tree here is the other chrome with the rear leaf springs. Here's your front axle right there. And those zoomy headers that aren't shown in this this build, but I guess you could put those on there. And just some other things. Headlights right there. But anyway, and back to the most important part of it. These awesome tires. You gotta love them. Alright, well hey, I got to experience what my brother experienced back in early to mid 80s. Cool. And he may well had the, no, I guess it is the Ertl kit, because I do have the box. It's not the Matchbox kit. So anyway, enough rambling. Guys, aren't the memories of your childhood model building just amazing? How you can hang on to something, you can forget totally about it until you see that box, or smells do that. It's kind of weird, but you can forget how grandma's cookies smelled until one day you're somewhere and you smell, and it just hits you. It's like bam, that memory drawer opens, that file comes out, and you say, that's what grandma's cookies smell like. Well, it's the same thing with model cars. We can tend to forget about something until we see it. It then it opens up again that memory bank that's been hidden away and forgotten about. And we get to open it up and remember those things and just reminisce. And that's one thing about model cars. It's just so cool to be able to do that. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching and listening to me just talk. You guys are great. I appreciate all your support. What would we do without each other? Boy, we would be in our basement or in our shop, and we would build these things with really little to no gratification except us seeing them. And with this YouTube world thing, it gives us the opportunity to talk about these memories, to show these cars that we've built, to open these kits that have been long hidden away, and just to have a great time. So guys, I appreciate you. You're great. Don't forget to go check out the Facebook group. And don't forget that if you want to become a Patreon member and see your name on that introduction jam that I got going. A lot of people ask about that music. That's just a free YouTube track. I think it's even listed in the description, because when you use some of YouTube's music, it automatically tags it down in the description. So if you guys are interested in what that song is, or what that riff, or whatever you call it is, it's down in the description of the videos, I believe. But yeah, if you want your name on there, hey, go join Patreon. I'll add it to it. We'll have a great time on some live streams. But anyway, guys, hey, enough of me rambling. Thanks a lot. We'll see you on the next one. You guys take care. We'll see you. All right.